Hello, my name is Ian Landry.
And I'm Margavio.
And welcome to BBC News, Bucktown Broadcasting Center. Today we'll be talking about how marijuana is affecting the United States of America. Our first topic will be throwing it back to our colleague that recently just beat the case, Daniel Miller, talking about how Hurricane Florence is causing marijuana bundles to wash up on beaches in Florida.
Yeah, it's really great to have Daniel back, but forget about that. Next we're going to go to sports with Hunter Kraus on marijuana in sports.
Then we'll be going to my colleague, Andrew Margavio, talking about how legalized marijuana is improving tax revenue in states that legalized it.
Then we're going back to my colleague, Ian Landry, on the positive and negative effects of marijuana in America.
Now let's go say hello to Daniel and weather.
Hey! Raindrops, drop top.
Thanks, Ian Andrew. Glad to finally beat that case. Now for weather. Today in Florida, we have been reported that bundles of weed have washed up on Daytona Beach in Florida. Now, a man named Robert Kelly, who was enjoying his day at the beach, picked up a bundle of weed and was arrested for it. Now, officials say that some of the possibilities of this weed washing up on the beach is from Hurricane Florence. Now, a boat could have capsized with bundles of weed or an airdrop. Weed, Robert Kelly, Florida, hurricanes, back to you.
Thanks, Daniel. Nothing's greater than that man's weather report. It really is great to have back, and I cannot stress that enough. But forget about that. Now let's pass it over to Hunter Kraus with marijuana in sports.
Ballin' in the middle of the club, no jersey. I don't wanna look cause I've been drinking that dirt.
Thanks, Ian. Nice toss. And welcome to Sports with Hunter Kraus. Today we talk about sports in the Mary Jane, the reefer, the hash, everybody's favorite plant, marijuana. First, I'll go through all the leagues and their thoughts on marijuana. Starting with the strictest out of all the leagues, the National Football League, the NFL. They're so strict, if you are caught with a positive drug test in the NFL, you can lose 25% of your seasons or a lifetime ban along with additional fines. The NBA is the second strictest, but they have an exception. Due to their players' conditions throughout the thing, with a lot of back pain, elbow pain, especially in LeBron's case, a lot of back pain. You can have medical marijuana under the supervision of a team's trainer. So that would make the NBA one of the only 420-friendly sports. Now the MLB has been called a chemical funhouse for players, being that it has the laxest drug rules out of any other professional league. Players have said, if you are caught with a positive drug test, you might get fined. Might. Now, to throw it up to our Canadian brothers, there was no THC testing. Until very recently, when a few players posted them partying on the official Twitter pages of their teams. And now, let's go back to Andrew for a special report on stocks and Mary Jane.
And I got all the drugs in the world that you need. We get how to pass time, but
Thanks, Hunter. I can always count on you for a phenomenal sports segment. But now we're coming to my segment I like to call Pineapple Express. First off, we have the legalization of marijuana could generate more than $132 billion in federal tax revenue. Next, it also could provide over 1 million job opportunities in America. What better to work in a field with marijuana? As you can see, the United States is highly populated with potheads. Next, I'll give you a list of 10 states, including the District of Columbia, that legalize the recreational use of marijuana. Starting off with Washington, then California, Nevada, Oregon, Alaska, Maine, Vermont, and Massachusetts. But last but not least, the state who started this whole movement, your very own colorful Colorado. To wrap up my segment, last thing I have to say is Donald Trump, the United States of America, and marijuana. Name a better trio. Now let's go to Ian Landry.
So what, we smoke weed, we're just having fun, we don't care who sees.
Thanks, Andrew. Now we'll be taking a look at my PowerPoint on the positive and negative effects of marijuana. The positive effects of marijuana are many. First off, appetite stimulation, then pain reduction, and also marijuana treats a vast majority of medical problems, such as cancer. It helps reduce the effects of chemotherapy, multiple sclerosis. It helps dull pain, stops muscle spasms, and relieves urinary problems. For glaucoma, it helps reduce ulcer pain and can also help with epilepsy, insomnia, and chronic pain. Negative effects of marijuana are altered senses, fatigue, dry mouth, otherwise known as cotton mouth, blurred vision, reduced coordination and balance. Now it really is funny. All these negative effects, the same as a legal substance known as alcohol. But so many people are against marijuana. The irony, America. The irony. Wow, Andrew. I must say, this really was a high point in our channel.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, especially with our man, Daniel Miller, back in action with the weather.
Come over, roll over here, Daniel.
How's it going?
How you doing?
Hey, bud.
Glad to be back.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm Ian Landry.
I'm Andrew Margavio,
And I'm Daniel Miller.
and this is
BBC News.